Okay, what are you saying, people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing well. As always, guys, if you are enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and of course, hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. If you haven't done already, check out the Elevating Traders Discord channel, completely free to join. Link to that at the top of the channel. Also, you can find it in the description below. You can find updates there about elevating traders, different trading ideas. I share ideas there, other traders there do, of course. So if you want to join the community, feel free to go and do that. Completely free to join. As I said, link to that in the description and also at the top of the chat. But guys, welcome back to another stream. We will be going through, of course, all markets. We'll start with USD, DXY, see what happens with the USD majors. Then we'll take a look at gold and silver. If you do have any particular requests that you do want to see me take a look at, or my opinion on, drop it in the chat, and of course, we'll take a look at it together. Yeah, and we'll go through the pairs in that regard. But we'll start with the DXY, and we'll go through the USD pairs first. What's up, Elmi? Welcome to the stream. Good afternoon. Hope you are doing good. But in the world of the dollar, things have been pretty bullish. We have had a pretty nice move to the upside since we last spoke. I mean, it was during we spoke, actually. Price was pretty bullish. Since we last spoke, hasn't really gone anywhere. But nonetheless, it's definitely looking very bullish. We've had a really strong move to the upside the past 24, 48 hours. And price looks like it's just below the swing high there, but looks like we're probably going to get a test of that. We do have NFP on Friday, so I wonder maybe price going to settle a little bit before that. I mean, I know my bias in terms of the technicals. I'm still very, very bullish on USD longer term. As I've spoken about, we've got a very big breakout on the weekly chart, which to me indicates a lot more upside this year potentially for the dollar. As long as we stay above this, of course, if you come crashing back down below and close back within the range, then that will be a sign that that was just a big fake out. And at that point, I'll be expecting a lot more downside and a swing to fill the range. So there is still possibility for both upside and downside, as there always is. But because this breakout is confident, I am very bullish on USD until proven otherwise. Looking for a swing back to the high here at 113. So that's the bias already set. In terms of the lower charts, we're still seeing higher highs and higher lows. I was looking for a bigger pullback yesterday for the DXY back into the 107 area, as we had a very impulsive push down, but prices completely reversed all that momentum very quickly. So the bigger pullback I was looking for doesn't look likely. And at this point, we probably will see price just take the high. I did mention on Discord, it would be nice to see price have one more pullback. Maybe if NFP comes out bearish for DXY, we might see a bit of a bearish reaction. Then we see the buyers take control again. I did point out this level here of resistance, price structure. It would be nice to see price maybe come back and retest that from the next higher low in this bullish sequence and potentially use that to continue back higher again. So that would be nice, but it's definitely very hypothetical. You know, will price have that push down? Maybe. Will it break to the upside? Potentially as well. All I can do is have a bias, find areas in which I could look to trade that bias and just wait to see if the market will get there or not. Of course, I'm not looking to trade the DXY, but my main focus on pairs like Euro USD, especially pound, which has been falling out the sky with pound weakness. That looks good to short on another pullback. And if we can see some USD weakness, that will help Euro pullback, help dollar CAD pullback, so on and so forth, and provide opportunities on those corresponding pairs. In terms of my analysis for the DXY, it's very simple, expecting new highs. Maybe we do see one more dip to the downside, back to the 108.4, 108.5 region. So I would keep an eye on that. But I do think these highs will probably go this week. And we do have the next big psychological level, which is at 110. So that's kind of where I'm looking for price to head to next. Looking to the left, there's no kind of big area of resistance or key level or target. We haven't been at these prices in a while, in like over 2 years about. So not really so concerned about areas over here, but just more concerned about the current bullish structure, which we are still seeing, which is still holding up very well. So yeah, more upside for USD. Hopefully can get a bit of a pullback at some point. Euro looking very bearish. Of course, the inverse of that. USD strength causing euro to fall, expecting price to get back to that swing low there and probably see some more downside. Again, Euro USD yesterday I was talking about that bigger pullback. Doesn't look like it's forming. Again, I would never say never. We still potentially could get a move to the upside. Still do have NFP on Friday. Maybe that does cause some upside there, and then we can get the drop I was looking for. I was speaking about the retest of this consolidation here. Nice drop there, a lot of momentum. It would be nice for price to come back and revisit around the 0.618, put that next lower high in comparison to that prior high. Of course, we had the lower high, broke the low. So it would be nice to get something like this and then the short. But yeah, at the moment in time, everything's looking pretty bearish for euro. We're only in touching distance of that low. So it's a bit of a it's a big call to ask for Euro USD to make that one extra pullback to continue further. It could very much easily just roll over from here. So again, part of trading, you're just waiting for the opportunities to arise. This is what would be something I'll be interested in for euro to short, but I wouldn't be surprised if we keep falling. In terms of an intraday level, because I was speaking about some intraday trades yesterday, I did say a retest of that range just above us could be a nice place to short. Still haven't gone and retested that area yet. So if we were to see something like this, that could be like a nice bear flag pattern. So there's your flag, impulse, correction, correction two, and then expecting the follow through to the downside. So that could still be a really nice place to short on the lower time frames. Maybe a 30 or 50-minute chart. Might want to keep an eye out for that. This is, of course, far more realistic than the bigger pullback I'm looking for. But again, we can only trade the setups we're after. So if y'all are looking at the lower charts, keep an eye on that. But definitely very bearish and expecting a lot more downside. In terms of pound USD, of course, pound has been absolutely tanking. And yeah, pound USD has not been messing around. Again, for this one, I was looking for the bigger pullback as well. Pretty much the identical setup to euro. Had the fib going on. Was looking for the retest of this support level, which of course lines up with the 0.618 very well. And again, I was looking for that bigger push back up again for then the drop. But of course, never had that. Pound weakness yesterday just stole the show. We crashed through the lows and create new lows there as well. And I think we've actually taken out the daily level support. Yeah, we have. We just gone wick through that. So yeah, pound USD is not playing around at all. But yeah, in my book, I do think more downside is still likely at this point. Of course, now that we've taken out a major low, you probably do want to see a bit more of a pullback this time because there's definitely a lot of buyers around these areas. The fact we've taken out liquidity underneath that low means we could spring to the upside quite meaningfully. A lot of sellers who are holding their positions longer term could have had this as a major low to take profit, and we could see some bigger buyers stepping into the market there. Of course, we could still completely crash through. In terms of shorts, I would like to see a much bigger pullback now. And in fact, the level I mentioned at the start of the week still looks pretty good. If price was to come back and retest this support level, which of course hasn't really been retested as resistance yet, because we did break above and break back below. So price hasn't really respected it as resistance. So it would be nice to see that bigger pullback, retag that same area. This is now a past lower high, which of course has created the new low. So this would be a nice place to revisit, retest, find some confirmations, and of course ride that to the downside. As long as we keep up these lower highs, we could really spill over. I've mentioned that big trend line on the daily chart we've broken through. So that could be the sign of more downside to come. It broke through a while ago, but as you can see, really nice test of this area. One over there, second over there, third. Almost got the fourth, but price crashed through. So now that we've taken out this low, is this the next low in store for us potentially? So that's literally why we're looking at. Until price starts to break structure to the upside, I'm just expecting more downside, and that would be the next low we could start looking at now that this low has been taken out. So yeah, very bearish on pound. Expecting more downside, but I do want to see a pretty big pullback now since we've taken out some major lows. I could consider maybe a break me test of this low here, but it's too close to major support, so I would avoid that. I would be looking at something a little bit bigger. In terms of dollar CAD, this has been not as bullish as you would expect. Maybe it has because CAD's been a little bit strong as well, but of course, we haven't really taken up the highs yet, and I wouldn't be too surprised if we do see a bit more downside. In all honesty, I do think the retest of 1.415, which is the level I'm looking at, is still a possibility, still pretty far away. Don't get me wrong, but this move here is still very, very corrective. Haven't seen much momentum like we saw with pound or even with euro. It's been very corrective on the way up. So I wonder, is this a strong impulse for a correction for another move back down, which then could end up giving me the trade I'm looking for, or at least get to the area I'm looking at, and then I can start considering some longs from here at 1.415. I've talked about this area for a few weeks now. Really nice confluences down there. Lines up very well with the 0.618 of the fib. We've also got a trendline confluence connecting the higher lows there too. So it would be very nice for price to get then. Does it line up with the 200 moving average? Okay, the 200's gone above it. But that would be a nice area to buy from. If not, then as I said yesterday, we'll wait for the break of the high. So if price does become bullish again and does go and break the high, then this becomes a nice opportunity to long on the retest. I still do have higher prices I'm expecting dollar CAD to get to. Let me go to the weekly chart. I'm still looking at this major level of resistance, which is around 1.46. That is still the target for dollar CAD. So a break and we test the high, you can look to ride it back into that level if that was to happen. So that's kind of what I'm still eyeing up for dollar CAD. In terms of Aussie dollar, of course, still falling to the downside. Have we taken out the lows yet on the daily chart? I don't think so. I think we've probably just spiked right into it, but not quite taken it out. I probably will do it today, to be honest, or at least by NFP, even just if it's a random wick. So yeah, it looks like we're not getting the bigger pullback I was looking for there for Aussie dollar. Probably just going to end up taking out this low pretty soon. If we do that, I'm no longer really interested in shorting Aussie dollar, to be honest. In fact, I might start eyeing up some counter trend moves to take it back up again. Reason being is because that is such a major low. This is the low which gave us a really strong move to the upside. So selling underneath that is always going to be very tricky, especially in FX, where we tend to take out major lows or major highs, then reverse on ourselves. Not that we can't continue falling, we definitely can, but this is not the smartest area, especially as a swing trade. If you're day trading, intraday trading, sure, if you're in and out, you can look to take positions there and call it a day. But if you're looking to hold positions overnight, few days, a week, there's a good chance that price will take out that low and then eventually come back and push up again. So all your profits gone. So yeah, I wouldn't mind some counter trend moves. Again, I still do think the bigger move for Aussie dollar is still a lot more downside. I'm still looking at the COVID wick down here as longer term targets, but we might see a bigger pullback before that happens, lower highs somewhere, and then resume the journey. So that's kind of what I'll eye up next. A much bigger pullback before I do decide to short again. In terms of New Zealand dollar, this one still has a bit of room to the downside before it takes out the major low. So if I was to drag that in, take that across, you can see we are still definitely looking very bearish, but not quite taking out that low like Aussie dollar is doing. So this one, the pullbacks are still a possibility. Of course, whether that possibility will become a reality is is up in the air, but I still like these areas up here, 0.576, 0.58. Would be nice to see a pullback into that area. We're still looking fairly tired in this channel here, so there's that possibility we could have that bigger pullback. We tried to do it over here, didn't really amount to much, so I'm kind of hoping we can go and get that bigger pullback and then sell off again. But those are the only areas which look good to me. 0.578, 58, and then yeah, longer term looking at pushback down to 0.551. In terms of gold and silver, these guys have been a little bit bullish, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, gold's slightly pushing to the upside, trying to take out that high, but unsuccessful so far. Again, as I've been saying with gold for the past maybe a couple of weeks now, I'm not a fan of the price action. Just looks like a very ugly range, equal highs up there, equal lows. Price has tried to break through the low a few times. It's failed. We retested support again pretty well. Looks like it's holding up. Maybe you see a swing back to the highs there, and these turn into be some really nice high lows that continue maybe, but not a trade for me. I've spoken about this low here. I think that's still a great place for a long. Of course, price is nowhere near that area at the moment, but should we get there, I definitely would be looking at some longs and looking for some confirmations in that particular area. But right now, I don't really have a good read on gold. I'm still bullish overall, still looking for a push back to the all-time highs. So I know that's my bias, and that's because of the higher time frame trend, which is still at play. Still very bullish market here. I don't really want to be looking to short gold until I see strong evidence that we're about to turn around. This is still a very bullish market in higher time frames. So, as a swing trader who's looking to hold positions longer term, I will have a lot more luck with the buys than the sells. So I know I'm looking to buy, just need to find a good setup for that, which hasn't really come around yet. In terms of silver I do like. It's getting there. It's a really nice double bottom. Not long ago, we've taken up the highs there as well. So again, I just need a bit more development in terms of the buys, higher highs, higher lows forming. I can look to get in a higher low somewhere and hopefully ride it all the way back up to the highs, best case scenario. Of course, there is this area here to contend with, so I'll watch out with that. That could start another bearish swing, but I am looking at us turning around and becoming bullish again. You can see on the daily chart, we've got the swing low here, which create the swing high. And if I whip out the Fibonacci, we've had a healthy pullback and now looking for the continuation. And as you can see, we're also bouncing on the 200 moving average there on the daily, which is always a nice confluence there as well. So yeah, still very bullish on silver. This is still what I'm looking for. Have to be patient, but at the moment, nothing quite there yet. And yeah, that's kind of my take on the USD markets. What's up, Ahmed? Welcome to the stream. Okay, we'll take a look at oil for you. Elmi, no problem. Blessing, good morning, good morning. Euro yen, Euro USD, we'll take a look. Good afternoon, that kid Moa. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Darkashon, what is up? I don't know what's happening with pound, to be honest. We've been very, very bearish since the stream. Do we have some pound news yesterday? Because I know pound was a little bit weak going into the stream, but then I remember on the stream, that's when pound started really tanking. There wasn't any news at that point in time. So I didn't actually check before if there was news for pound. There might have been. But yeah, pound's looking very, very weak at the moment. By far the weakest currency. Good morning, Will. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. I am doing good, my man. Thank you for asking. Hope you're well too. Afternoon, crypto. Yeah, crypto's had a bit of a beating as well. I'll go through a couple requests on oil, Euro yen, and Euro USD. Then I'll go through some crypto markets, which, yeah, definitely moving crazy at the moment. But yeah, we'll go take a look at oil. What is happening with oil? Okay, bit of a bearish move there. So I'm still looking at a longer term bearish move for oil, but I did mention some shorter term buys on the way up before some bigger sells on the way down, and that's still very much how I'm looking to play it. If I whip out this trend line here from the high over there, connecting this high and that high, it's just still a very nice place for a short. I like the resistance here. If price was to come back and hit two birds with one stone, tag the trend line, tag the resistance level, I think that would be a great place to short. If price was, of course, to break through that, that would be a big indication that, okay, maybe we aren't going to sell off. Maybe oil is going to see a lot more upside on a breakout. But if we come here, buy some wicks, see some strong bearish engulfing candles on the daily chart, it's a good sign that sells are likely to maintain and see a lot more downside. So that's still the area which I'm looking for oil to get to for a big sell. In the time being, price had a pretty nice breakout on the 4-hour chart of this range. So you got the equal highs here mostly, equal lows down here. And price has made a really healthy breakout of that level. So as I mentioned yesterday, there could be a nice little retest of this level to buy it, to then sell it. And that is how I'm looking to view oil at the moment. Very, very strong resistance. It was also support back over here as well. If I do drag that across, it was holding that support a couple of times there as well. So 72 has been a real focus for oil. And now that it looks like we're coming back to retest that support, of course, not quite there yet. Still want to see a bit more downside to get there. But if you do see some healthy rejection, I think that's a great place to hold onto some longs and ride it back to highs. And then hopefully there could be some nice shorts to take it back down again to keep up with these major lower highs. One over there, second over there, third, and potentially we could go find our fourth. And the drop continues. So yeah, that's kind of really what I'm looking at for oil. Some buys for some sells later on. And if you do see oil push up or remain bullish, I'll probably keep CAD strong as well, which might help out with my USD CAD retracements. But we'll see how that continues. Okay, I'll go through Euro Yen and Euro USD. Then we'll go through some crypto markets. What's up, CS Integrated? Hope you're well. Euro Pound, NZD, and Aussie tanking. Yes, USD is strong. It does look like the majors are not playing ball right now. I mean, they are playing ball, but with USD being strong, they are tanking right now. But especially Pound USD, of course. Pound is stealing the show a little bit with its weakness. But yeah, it does look like we're just seeing that strength continue for USD, and we're just seeing the majors continue to fall. Until something changes, we're probably just going to see more of the same. I know we've got NFP on Friday, so it can definitely change on Friday. But at the time, I'm not really seeing evidence that we're about to do anything different. Sure, there's going to be pullbacks, but we're likely just going to continue that direction. Anyway, let's go through Euro Yen and Euro Dollar. So yeah, Euro Yen. This one's seeing a bit more downside. It's been a bit awkward for the Yen pairs, I must admit. We'll go through the Yen pairs all together in a moment. But yeah, Euro Yen, I still do have a shorter term bullish bias because I do want to see price get back to the highs there at 166.5 because I want to short this thing. We've had a really big sell there. As I keep saying, I'm looking at this as the correction. I want to see one final move to the upside, and then I'll be looking to short and hopefully looking to hold that for the full run. But we'll see what the market has in store. There is that possibility that we don't get all the way back to the high and still sell off anyway. So you know, that could be a possibility there, which would be a little bit not great for me because I do want price to push up a little bit higher. But in terms of finding entries or trades right now, I don't really see anything with Euro Yen. We spoke about the high low in this area. It ended up forming very well. Nice wick, lovely move to the upside. Now we're just in between things. You know, we've tested the high there, struggled to break through. Hence, we've got a bit of a reaction. And of course, we had a bit of a reaction from the bullish area. Hence this move to the upside. So now the market's kind of just floating in between those two areas of supply and demand, support and resistance, and is not really doing much. Potentially, we're just pulling back to continue higher, or maybe we're coming back to retest the low. It's difficult to say. We're kind of in no man's land. So Euro Yen, I wouldn't really look to do anything. If price does get back down to support again and we see a healthy rejection, I still think this is a decent buy. Again, to take it back up again, as long as we don't go and take out this low. So of course, if price was to do something like that, that would break structure. Then I'll be looking at lower highs and more downside. If you can come back into this area, 161.5, hold it. I do think that's still a great place for buys. But at the time, at this moment in time, I wouldn't say there's anything looking good. Maybe on the lower time frames, you might be looking at some of these shorter term pullbacks here for another drop. You know, being pretty consistent with the lower highs. One over there, second, third, fourth. You could see that fifth and continue. So that could be something to look at. But in terms of the 4-hour chart, I wouldn't do anything really. We're neither at a nice area to buy and not at a nice area to sell. So yeah, not much to speak on there for Euro Yen. I know my high time frame bias. I know what I'm looking to do in that regard. You know, looking to have that big sell back to these lows. That's still the bias, but even I don't have an opportunity to execute on that just yet. So it's a waiting game with Euro Yen. In terms of Euro USD, as we just spoke about, very bearish on Euro, expecting more downside. I do think there's a nice intraday setup though. Euro's had a nice drop and left behind some nice areas of a brief consolidation. You can look at that as supply. We just stopped there for a little bit, strong push to the downside. If we were to come back and retest that, I think that's still a great place for a short. Find some entries, and you're looking to see if you can push it back down to this low, or at least you got the low here to look for, which is 1.02800. But that's the area in which shorts would look good, retesting that range as we spoke about yesterday, and then looking for the continuation to the downside. I'm still kind of looking for the bigger pullback, not because I think it's going to happen, but it's because that's the only area which it makes sense in terms of the timeframes I trade and the strategy I trade. This is the level of confidence I was looking to short from. You've got that range there, strong drop to the downside. You've got the 0.618 in that same region, and you more or less got the 200 as well there. So it would be very nice for price to have that second pullback, maybe form like a really big bear flag, so to speak, and then get the shorts there to take it back down again. But yeah, at this moment in time, not looking pretty likely. So yeah, euro in terms of intraday, I think shorts are your best bet. Bit of a pullback, and then expecting more downside back to the lows, so on and so forth. But I'm very bullish on USD. So any kind of weakness I see with USD, I'm just going to anticipate there's a pullback for more upside. Of course, if we go and break structure on the DXY, then I'll tweak my bias. But for now, still very bullish on USD. Okay, so we'll go through a couple crypto markets. We'll say look at Bitcoin, Ethereum. Okay, trading. We'll go through gold as well. Will, what is up? Current sitting in the hands. Okay. JPY is far from a setup for me. Yeah, that's same with me really as well. I'm keeping a close eye on the yen pairs, but nothing's really setting up just yet. I'll go take a look at all of them together in a moment. But I'll go through BTC first. So yeah, Bitcoin, very strong drop to the downside, looking very bearish and not looking too hot, to be honest. Overall, it's just a lot of corrective behavior in this area, which is not a good sign for buyers at all. You want to see, impulse, correction, impulse. That's a sign of a healthy trend in all markets. When a market is corrective like this, especially crypto as well, which relies so much upon momentum, it's not a good sign. But we're still holding on to support, and until that breaks, I'll remain bullish on Bitcoin. If we do see a strong close this week beyond that area, then yeah, I do think a pullback is likely. As I mentioned, this is the next big level I have for Bitcoin, which is back down at the 73K area. If we do clear that support level, then I do think we'll see a pullback into that level, and then we can speak about buys again. Yeah, that's the only other logical place for a buy if we don't hold this level. So it's really make or break with Bitcoin, not necessarily in terms of make or break in terms of the overall trend. The market's still very, very bullish, 100%. All you need to do is expand, look at the higher time frames. Even if we do dip back to 73K, it's still a very bullish market. It just means that this bullish phase is now time to retrace. So yeah, Bitcoin, I'm still bullish because we're above 92K. But if we break through that this week, then keep your eyes on 73K because that's where I expect price to end up next. In terms of Ethereum, yeah, Ethereum not looking too hot either. We had a really nice dump yesterday. As you can see, lovely pullback, and then price absolutely melted. Was that yesterday or the day before? No, that was the day before. We just saw price kind of continue yesterday. But yeah, it looks like we have formed that double top. Really healthy break of structure with that drop there, taking out these lows. Market has now formed the next lower high since that drop. I do think these lows here will be taken out. If I go back to the daily chart, this level down here is the area I'm expecting price to get to, which is 2,900. I do think price has a good chance of getting there. We tried to break the highs here, didn't happen, and now we're forming lower highs as well. So in my book, Ethereum likely has more downside in it, at least back to this next level of support, and then we can see what happens. Potentially we could reverse, maybe we break through, but then in terms of the immediate price action, Ethereum is likely to see a bit more downside here. So it's not looking good for crypto, I must admit. And yeah, Ethereum, I would expect to see more downside in that regard. Next, we'll go through gold. What's up, GTV? we'll take a look at CAD Gen. We'll go through all the M pairs together. What's up, Philip? Welcome to the stream. I'm doing good. How are you? BTC ports. Oh, okay. 93,282 target 99k. What is your bias on this? So yeah, as I said with Bitcoin, still bullish because we're above support. Yeah, I'm always expecting support to hold until proven otherwise. That's always my default bias with support and resistance. If price is respecting support or respecting resistance, I'm always expecting price to reverse from that until it doesn't really. And so far, we've seen numerous times price come into this area and maintain this, and of course over there as well. So there's definitely a strong support, and we can easily reverse the upside. Um, and I think in terms of a buy back to 99k or even further, it's definitely a sensible place for it, especially if you've got a stop loss underneath the zone. If if of course price was to break through the support level, take your stop loss as well potentially, then yeah, Bitcoin I would be pretty bearish on, expecting a lot more downside. But for now, we're still holding on to support, so I do think price can at least have a bit of a bounce. I think 99k is a pretty reasonable bet as well, not necessarily taking it back to the all-time highs. 99k is just over here, so it's pretty reasonable. Looks like you're targeting this level of resistance here as well. So yeah, it's a reasonable bet. You're not looking for anything too crazy, and if you can sustain that, I do think price can get there. Of course, if we do start breaking the lows, you probably want to look to exit that trade and get out of the way, because we could keep falling. So watch out for that. What's up, Lauda? I hope you're well. Okay, we'll take a look at euro pound for you, just short of it. Oh, okay, that's an interesting one, because I remember euro pound was absolutely flying with the pound weakness, but it's probably due retracement at least. But yeah, I'll go for euro pound for you. First, let me just take a look at gold. So gold, I don't like the price action at all. Yeah, I don't like the price action at all with gold. I'm bullish longer term, still looking for a push back to the all-time highs, but the only area, at least from a swing perspective, that looks good is back down here at 25.60. That's the only area which I'm looking to long from. And I will be anticipating price to get back to the all-time highs at some point. Potentially, we are forming some higher lows in now, and maybe we're looking to start a trend here. But the way I'm looking at gold right now is we've got equal highs up there, we've got equal lows here, and this is my range. So I don't want to be taking trades inside that area. As I always say, if you're looking to trade inside a range, it's always going to be very difficult. If you're going to trade the high of a range or the low of the range, sure, those are great places to get involved. But in the middle is where you got the maximum chaos. I would avoid trading in the middle. So yeah, until price starts to show evidence of highs being taken out, then I can start to look for some opportunities higher up. But for now, I do want price to fall to the extreme back at this low here, where I can get a relatively safe stop loss, maximize my risk to reward, and potentially look for that massive double bottom for a swing back to highs. So that's still very much my play with gold. If we do maintain some momentum, there could be some nice break and retest, such as like this, retest the high, looking for opportunities for the next higher low. So one over there, second, third, fourth, and then you can look to ride it to the high. Like I said, I don't like it because it's in the middle of the range, but that's probably your best bet in terms of the buys if we do see price break through the high. And if you're a bit more intraday, that's probably what you'd be looking at as well. So yeah, gold, expecting more upside. This is still my area of interest. But if you are intraday looking for some pullbacks, this could be a good opportunity if we do see a confident break of that high. So I'll keep an eye out on that. For gold. What's up, more, my man? Hope you're doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. Hope you're well. Welcome to the stream. Universal, what is up? Happy New Year. Right back at you, my man. Hope you're doing well. Sell at 2684. Where is that? 2684. Okay, so imagine you're looking at that area of supply on the left there. So potentially, like I said, it's in the middle of a range. It might bounce, it might not. It's nothing really high probability, at least in my view anyway. I'm sure you've got your own reasons for taking a trade and having that bias and that target and that stop loss. I'm not trying to talk you out of that position. I'm just, of course, giving you my honest opinion. And I don't really like the price action, um, especially when we're trading inside a middle of a range here. If gold was kind of trending on the 4 hour chart, then sure. But it isn't really. It's kind of gone nowhere for the past couple of months. So, yeah, potentially keep an eye out for those sells there. Nothing I would look at personally. I actually would rather take some buys in these areas because I'm starting to see evidence of a bullish trend form. So that's kind of where my focus would be. Okay, so I will go through Euro Pound and then I'll go through all the yen pairs and we'll take a look at those guys. If I do miss out a pair that you guys are looking at, just drop it down in the chat again. We'll go through. I'll start with CAD yen when I do go through the yen pairs. Hey, what's up, Holy One? Welcome to the stream, my man. Previous high in DXY will be taken out before Friday evening. I think there's a good chance for that happening, to be honest. I think there's a really good chance for that happening. I mean, we could even do it in the New York session, to be honest, coming up, because the high is over there. We're currently trading here. If USD decides to be bullish come New York, we could very much take that out by 6-7 o'clock today, UK time. So yeah, possibly. Of course, it's a difficult one to say with absolute probability if we will go and take up the high. I do expect us to do it eventually, whether it's today or because of NFP, or we might drop down with NFP, then go and take it out the following week. I do expect us to go and take up that high eventually. But yeah, I would say there's a good chance before this evening. Anyway, let's go through Euro Pound. So someone said they got a short position. Jaylene said you got a short position, Euro Pound. Yeah, Euro Pound is actually flying at the moment, and that's purely down to the weakness of pound. Really, Euro is not really strong; it's a little bit strong, but yeah, pound weakness is causing this guy to fly. And I said yesterday that if we can get a strong break at the highs here, I will start looking for some buys and some pullbacks, and preferably on the retest of that high. And I actually am, because we've taken out this high here as well. So I'm seeing evidence of the trend shifting. So if I can get a corrective pullback, I will keep an eye for some higher lows forming. We had the double bottom over here. Then we had the higher low over here. Now I'm looking for the next one, and it probably has some nice trendline confluence as well, connecting the dots there. So Euro Pound is actually a market which I'm looking to buy, and the reason that I am looking to buy is simply because of where we're trading on the higher time frames. Massive level on the monthly chart. You can see the numerous wick rejections we've got in these areas. Big rejections there, massive move to the upside. Big rejections, massive move to the upside. Again over there, and potentially we could see it happen again. Now, I'm not necessarily looking for a massive move to the upside like such. All I know is that we're in an area where we could see one. And if I do have a trading stop loss, maybe I do capitalize on a big move. I make sure I put myself in an opportunity where I could catch a big winner. But this is an area where predominantly I want to be looking for buys, especially as a swing trader anyway. So dropping onto the 4 hour chart, knowing that we're in that level of support, it adds a lot of confidence to these buys here, which I just mentioned. Should we get them? There's a lot of confidence saying that, okay, buys are likely to play out. In terms of the sells, there is still a current bearish trend for Euro Pound. So I can definitely understand why you're looking to sell and expecting more downside. And the fact that the market's a bit stretched means that we probably will topple out at some point and see a bit of a pullback. But we're not really in an area where I would expect that to happen. Maybe we are retesting some support here, term resistance, but it looks like we're kind of breaking through that at this point in time. So Euro Pound, I'm not really a fan of the shorts yet. Maybe if we were to push a little bit higher back into this area here, 0.843, 844, then I could expect a bit more of a reaction. So yeah, if you do get stopped out or the trade doesn't work out, maybe keep an eye on this area up here, 0.843 or 0.844, to have a second attempt at the trade. I always say if you're trading with a positive risk reward, if the first trade fails, you profit on the second one, you still make back your loss and then some. So the net kind of result of those two positions is still profit. So that's one of the benefits of a positive risk reward. So yeah, if you do get stopped out, not too sure where you've entered, but I guess around here, keep an eye for that level above us. I think there's a good chance we do react. Euro pound's not a pair that tends to move in straight lines. We tend to kind of bounce and fluctuate quite a lot. So keep an eye out for that. But for me, this is where my focus lies. Anyway, let's go through some CAD pairs. Not CAD pairs, sorry. Through some yen pairs. But we'll start with CAD yen. So CAD yen, still looking for a bit of upside, but overall I'm looking for some sells. I'm still pretty bearish longer term on the yen pairs. I'm looking for a push back to the highs here at 111.491. I'm looking for price to come and test that area and then drop. Pretty much the same move for pound yen, which we'll get into shortly as well. Same move for euro yen as well, Aussie yen, New Zealand yen. I'm looking for that across the board. The only yen pairs which I'm not looking at that big sell-off is dollar yen and Swiss yen. But CAD yen, again, lovely drop to the downside in July/August. Now I'm looking at this as the correction of that move for a big continuation back to these lows and possibly a lot further. So the plan is short-term buys back to the high and then some long-term sells. Of course, we'll wait for our confirmations to present themselves before shorting, but that is the idea. If I drop to the 4-hour chart, we are still pretty consistent with the higher lows. The market has been forming really nice bullish structure. We had the equal lows down there, the double bottom. Price broke to the upside, higher high, higher low, higher high. This looks to me as another higher low. We've just gone and broke through structure there as well. So I would be looking at this as another pullback for CAD yen to form a higher low and continue to the upside. So that's really my focus there with CAD yen. In terms of a setup, I did speak about the break me test of this zone here, which is still at play. I was speaking about this yesterday, about the break me test of this area. We haven't really gone anywhere since we last spoke. I believe we were trading around here. So this buy still looks relatively good. Now, when I do take my break and retest, I normally look for bigger breaks and bigger retests, so to speak. And what I mean by that is, what I touched on yesterday is that, say we got level resistance, I want price to really break through that level, really have a confident break, impulsive break of that level before I would consider looking for a retest. If price was to form a level of resistance and just have a very slight break and a retest very quickly, from my experience, these are more prone to fake outs than this move per se. Of course, they both could be fake outs. I've seen big breaks and big fake outs before as well, but the smaller ones are more prone. So when you can see confident breakouts like this, there's a good chance price is going to come back and respect that level. Of course, waiting for confirmations as well. And you can look for the continuation back to the high and a lot further. These can play out as well. These breaking tests can play out as well, but I've had a lot less success with them as well. So, and that's that type of breakout we're getting at now. So that's not a breaking retest I'll look for. If this breakout was a lot bigger, let's say twice as big like that, I'll be a lot more convinced about the retest. And probably something I'll be looking to take myself. But CAD gem, because it's shallow, I would avoid it. But if we can stay above, it could play out, and we could see that upside move. As I said, the main trade I'm looking for anyway is the shorts. So I'm looking for a bit more upside there for CAD yen. Keep up these high lows, and then hopefully we do get that sell. In terms of pound yen has been a bit tricky because, of course, with that pound weakness, it has blown the chart wide open. Because I was looking for this move here just to continue back to highs, which is 198.900, and then I was looking to see if we could break through that and go tag the high. And then again, similar to CAD yen, I'll be looking for my short to take price right back down again. If I expand to the higher time frames, just like CAD yen, looking at this impulse, looking at this as a big correction for, again, a big swing to the downside. That has been my longer term bias for a while now with the yen pairs, especially pound yen. So I'm looking for the shorts longer term, but it doesn't look like we're going to get that push back to the high anymore. And I say that because we're actually starting to break through some structure. This was the swing low, which gave us this very strong move to the upside, giving us the new highs. And now it looks like price is trying to break through that with this move here. And we've already had three kind of failed attempts to continue, one over there, second over there, and a third one over there as well. So if price was going to hit that high there, I would expect us to gonna made that move by now. The fact that we've had these two really strong failed attempts is a sign that the sellers are really pushing price down and the buyers don't quite have enough juice to make it back to that resistance. So if you do start breaking through structure, because at the moment we're kind of just wicked below, I need to see some confident candle closures below to really confirm the break of structure. But if we do get that in the next 4-hour candle, let's say, then the plan would be for pound yen looking for the next pullback, next lower high, and then expecting a drop from there. So we might not get the big sell from this high, but it might come from a lower high in this new bearish structure we're forming. And then we can start to target these lows over here and then potentially the lows over there and a lot further. But you can start to see that we're forming some lower highs now. We have the equal highs over there. Price create a low, new lower high. Looks like we're about to break structure. And if we do, that will be a lower low. Then I'll be looking for the next lower high in that sequence. And then I'll be looking to short it back down to the swing low here at 189. So pound yen I have been pretty bullish on, and we have seen some nice upside, but things look like they are shifting. And if you do go and break the low at 194, and we'll no longer be looking for the swing back to the high here. And now more interested in a lower high of this bearish leg. So if I whip out a fib from the high to the low, I mean, the low hasn't been created yet, but let's just say hypothetically it does create around there. And now this level here will be my area of confidence to short from. So yeah, that's kind of really what I'm looking at for pound yen, and the driving force of that is not necessarily yen strength. It's more to do with pound weakness, because of course we just had a look at euro yen, which is looking tad bearish, but nothing compared to pound yen. I mean, maybe euro yen is just lagging behind. We form one high over there. Maybe this is a lower high in the sequence, and maybe we do go and have that big drop and break structure. Then again, I'll be looking for the lower high than the short. So maybe that is what euro yen is going to do in the next maybe few days. But until that happens, then we'll start to look at those opportunities. It's not quite here yet. But yeah, pound yen, looking at more shorts. Darkshon wanted me to look on the 5-minute chart. Did you say you're looking for sells on the 5-minute? Where was the message? Okay, I've lost it. Yeah, can't see it. But yeah, if you're looking on the 5-minute chart, I think it's a bit tricky now to be looking for sells because we've just taken out some major lows here. So I'll be more focused. I mean, depends what you're looking at really, because there's no right or wrong. If you're looking for a very quick scalp, say price comes back into the high, you could probably catch a nice, let's say, you could probably catch a nice 50 pip move from that high. If that's what you're looking for. If you're looking for a slightly bigger move than that, then I think you would have a bit more luck on the buys after, let's say, we break structure, form some higher lows somewhere. It could be a nice pullback to be had, which will probably give you a lot more pips, maybe your 100 plus. So it depends what you're looking at there on the 5-minute there. But yeah, because we've taken out some major lows here, are we expecting price to eventually give us that bigger pullback and see some bullish structure? But of course, let's see some higher highs and higher lows first before the buys look good. At the moment, still pretty consistent with the lower highs here. So if you do have a short bias, I think sells look good. Just I wouldn't try and push it too far. That's my only kind of advice there. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with pound yen. We'll go through some other yen pairs as well. So we had a look at euro yen, we had a look at CAD, pound. Dollar yen, I'm actually still very bullish on. It's the only yen pair which I'm actually trying to actively buy. And I think just because USD strength is so significant, it's keeping dollar yen bullish. Because pound yen's looking pretty bearish. It looks like we could see a lot more downside in pound yen. But dollar yen, not the same story. We've taken out some major highs here on the daily chart, still looking relatively bullish. I know at the moment we're pretty corrective, but in the grander scheme of things, lovely swing to the upside, creating new highs. I'm still looking for a pullback into the 50, which lines up very well with this brief down move there, which created this lovely push to the upside. So I'm looking for price to come back and retest that around 153,500. See the next higher low, and again swing it back to the highs and potentially back to the daily weekly swing high back at 161,750. So dollar yen still very bullish on. Hopefully we can get a bigger pullback at some point. This is my area of focus. We had a lovely higher low, which of course created that new high, which is still going, hasn't really turned around yet. But if it does turn around, great. I'll be looking for the higher low in that area. I did suggest a nice break and retest of the high here could be something to look at, because we might not get that bigger pullback. So the only trade opportunity might just be the break and retest of this resistance level, but it's not looking very attractive at this moment in time. Like I mentioned earlier, when I'm looking for my break and retest, I want to see a confident break of the level and then find some pullbacks afterwards. At this moment in time, it's kind of just like a very half-hearted break, which is nothing really that gives me confidence to follow that move. Not to say it can't work. Again, trading is a game of probabilities, not absolutes. Just because the breakout is corrective doesn't mean we're guaranteed to have a fake out and push back down. Even bad trades win, and good trades can lose as well. So it's not about necessarily being right or wrong, but it's about taking good trade after good trade after good trade. And for me, I would want a much more confident break to the upside before contemplating a break and retest opportunity. At the moment, still very corrective. So yeah, I'll stay away from that. We could very much break back inside. But yeah, if we do get a more confident breakout, then yeah, retests of this level look good for some buys. And as I said on the daily/weekly chart, this becomes our new target, 161,750. So yeah, very bullish there for dollar yen, and just have to wait for the opportunity to arise. In terms of Aussie yen and New Zealand yen, I actually think these guys are coming to some nice areas for some longs. Actually, they haven't really set the market alight in terms of their bullish structure. It's still being very corrective. But as I mentioned yesterday, we pull back into a nice area for a buy. Aussie yen, you can see we had the low there. This is our next higher low, and this is our next higher low after that. We took out the highs over here, just about creating new higher high. Now we've had a relatively healthy pullback, and if we can hold this area, I would expect to see another swing back to the high and probably a lot higher as well. So I think this is still a great area for a buy, especially if you're looking at the lower time frames, like maybe hourly chart for some entries. You can look to maximize your risk to reward there. But in terms of Aussie yen, we've been breaking highs here. So we had didn't mean to do that. We had the high over there. We took that out, created a new high, and then we pulled back, higher low, took that out, created a new high. Looks like we're getting the same type of price action for potentially a new higher low, which of course I'll expect to go and take up the highs there and possibly come back to this region, which again, I'm looking for the exact same thing. Strong drop to the downside, correction, and then big sell. Same as pound yen, same as CAD yen, same as euro yen. But yeah, I like this range here, brief range, lovely move to the upside. Maybe not the strongest impulse and move, but still fits the criteria there. So I think that is still a decent trade. And New Zealand yen is pretty much doing the exact same thing as well. So if we can come back, retest this area here, see some nice rejection on the hourly chart, I think this is a great place to go long and take it back to the high there. You can see not long ago we created new highs there as well, creating higher lows there too. So that would be the area I would expect the next one to form. Take it back to the highs and maybe a lot further as well. Could take it back to the high over here. We have been forming these higher lows. You've got the first one there, that big wick, second one there, potentially the third one there as well. So that could take us back to the high, then for a big sell. There's your impulse. There's your correction. Oh, let me do that again. There's your correction. And there's your continuation. That's still very much the main focus there with the yen pairs. But no setup for me just yet. Okay, where was I? All right, take care, more. No worries, my man. Okay, got family visiting over. All right, Kate. No problem, man. Take care. Have a good day at your store. Hope everything goes well. No problem, Jaylene. Happy to help. Morning, morning, Ben. What is up? Pound getting cooked again? Yes, violently cooked. It was bleeding out the sky there. Bleeding out the sky. Okay, set to die. We'll take a look at EuroCAD for you. No problem. Afternoon. Happy to help. Dark Sean looking for 70 pip entries. Okay, 70 pips. Yeah. Normally. Okay. 100, 150 pips. Snoring as usual. Okay, didn't get any entry. Yeah, I mean, again, you're not gonna get entry every day. You're gonna miss trades. And the way I try to look at it is over the course over a month, a quarter, a year. You're looking to take good trades over that time period, day to day, even week to week. You're gonna miss trades. You might get out of trade early. You might make a mistake here or there. That's going to happen. That's going to be happening throughout your trading career because humans are not perfect, and we'll make those mistakes 100%. But over a course of a longer time period, a month, a quarter, a year, if you can take good trades on average consistently over that period, you will see the results you're looking for. But yeah, not every day is going to be a trading day, and you're going to sometimes miss trades. That is just completely natural. What's up, Tom? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, so I'll go through EuroCAD for set to dime. If I have missed out a pair, let me know. If someone did request the pair and I haven't got to it, I can just drop the message again. But yeah, EuroCAD seeing some downside. Now, PoundCAD stole the show. PoundCAD had a really big drop yesterday and this morning as well. As you can see, humongous drop there. So I would expect EuroCAD to eventually follow suit and see some more downside there as well. I do think there's a good chance EuroCAD does get back to the low here. I haven't been a big fan of EuroCAD, as I've said on the daily chart, just very messy price action altogether. Equal highs there, equal lows, and this is just very much the market back and forth in this area. I mean, we did get a break of structure there on the 4-hour chart, taking out these lows after a nice double top over there. So, we're looking for the lower high for the drop. I just haven't been a big fan of the market conditions, but it's playing out pretty well. Looks like we're coming back into the low there. In terms of trading ideas, I don't mind the high here. Let's say if we're to push back into that, that could be a nice place for a short because you can get a nice place for a stop loss. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan about entries there. Would rather it be a lot higher, but there's a lot of momentum in the market right now. And if you were to revisit resistance, there's a good chance we're going to respect it. Of course, you want to wait for your confirmations, not just jump straight in, but I think that's a good area for a short. And you've got a healthy target down at that low, which looks likely to be hit, especially if EuroCAD's going to go and copy what PoundCAD does, which was break the low and really sell off. I do think EuroCAD is likely to go and at least hit that low, and then we can go from there. But yeah, EuroCAD's still looking pretty bearish. If you're looking to get some entries at the moment, then yeah, that's probably your best bet, 1.484. Preferably probably want to be in the trade a little bit earlier at that high, of course, hindsight, but down there is not necessarily the best place, just because if the market was to have a bigger pullback, there's a good chance that you'd be taking out the trade before price does continue. If you're up here, you can stomach that pullback and still probably hold on to the lows. That's the only reason, but it's a nice place for an entry, so I'd keep an eye out for that. But yeah, pretty bearish on the intraday timeframes for EuroCAD. In terms of the larger timeframes, the daily chart, I'm still pretty neutral, to be honest. I don't really see a good play here. The market is just very, very flat. At some point, there was a slight uptrend forming, but we failed to break the highs there. Had a really aggressive sell-off towards the end of last year, and now the market's just been kind of up and down since then. So I don't really have a good read in EuroCAD. Pound CAD I actually like a lot more because we've had a really nice uptrend, and now it looks like price is either having a pretty big pullback of that uptrend, or maybe it's getting ready to break through it. This was our last swing low, which created this new higher high, of course, above the highs here on the left. So price has to technically break through the low here for me to justify a break of structure, and potentially we could be looking at a reversal happening. So I need that break of structure to happen. So at the moment in time, this could still very much just be a bigger pullback. I know it's pretty aggressive. We're seeing a lot of momentum, but I wouldn't be too surprised if we do start to be a bit more corrective and maybe form a higher low. If pound stays very weak and maybe CAD is strong and we do go and break structure, that's great as well. Then I'll be looking for the first lower high and then the drop at some point, maybe the retest of this support level like that. That could be a nice little trade, but of course, that's going to take some time to develop. But yeah, EuroCAD is definitely something I'm keeping an eye on. Not on the watch list yet because I don't really have an opportunity. I could still be looking at buys for a higher low, or I could be looking at sells if we do get a break of structure. So, nothing's really there yet, but I like the momentum. I like the fact that we're a trending environment, which means that if I do get into buys, I'm looking for a continuation of a trend. Or if we do break structure, I'm looking for the reversal of a trend. Either which way, I know the market's flowing. EuroCAD is just flat, so that's why I want to stay away from that. But yeah, my eyes are starting to steer towards pound CAD. Nothing there quite yet, but I'm keeping a close eye. In terms of the other CAD pairs as well, I do like New Zealand CAD. This is still a pair on the watch list, but it keeps falling annoyingly. I want to see a pullback with this one, but it just keeps tanking. This is the support level I'm looking for price to get to, which is 0.795. Still not too far away. But I was hoping to see a bit of a pullback this week, which still could happen. We still have NFP on Friday, which could still just ignite some momentum out of nothing really. So if we can see a push to the upside, that would be fantastic. Looking for the retest of this range here on the left and trying to catch that next lower high. 1, 2, 3, hopefully 4. Let me get that a little bit more onto the high. There we go. 4 over there, and hopefully a nice sell from that. And of course, targets at least back to the prior low, but preferably back down at daily support there. So that's really what I'm looking at for New Zealand CAD, and this pair is on the watch list. It looked like at one point we were going to see the retracement, but didn't quite happen. So yeah, I'm hoping we can, and then I'll look for some entries. But overall, pretty flat. Dark Sean, there's a big look at zone. Okay, this is for pound yen between 196 and 197 from yesterday, but no. Okay, not confident it will reverse that high just yet. Okay, I'll go take a look at that on the 5-minute chart. All right, take care, Will. Have a good one, my man. And we'll hopefully see you tomorrow. Did not mean to do that. Okay, so I will go through. I'll go through pound yen. Yes, Tom, I'm currently in Euro CHF. I re-entered that one yesterday. I'll go through it in a second. Let me just go through pound yen. So you mentioned 196. Let me just remove some of my drawings to clear up the chart. Okay, so you said 196, 197. You've got nice liquidity zone there. You're looking for price to get there. Okay, not confident price will get there. 196, 197. Okay, yeah, it is pretty far. So you're looking at this area here. So that big drop there. Yeah, it's a nice area. And actually, I would like to see that happen. Actually, I'm not confident either if price will get there or not. But I would actually like to see price make that move, to be honest. Because if we do go and break structure, then I will be looking at pullbacks for another lower high to form in that area. We've got the 0.5, 0.618. So I'll be looking at entries on the 4-hour chart to hopefully catch a nice sell. I would want to see price break a little bit further to the downside, just a bit more confidently, to really break through the lows here on the left, to really give me that confidence that structure is breaking, sellers are stepping into the market, we're likely to keep falling. So I would like to see a bit more of that. But yeah, in terms of that area, it looks good on the 4-hour chart too. Kind of retesting that support level, term resistance. But yeah, looks good. I wouldn't necessarily be confident we'll get there either. But hey, if we get there, the opportunities are there. We look to take them. If we don't, we don't, and we move on to the next setup that does arise. That's the only thing we can do as traders. But I would agree. I would agree. It looks like price is breaking structure pretty well there. So hopefully we can see a little bit more downside in that regard. But yeah, I did enter EuroCHF again. I did close the trade early yesterday. Was it yesterday or Tuesday? On Tuesday, because we did break above that resistance. I did have entries over here last week. But I did exit the trade over there. Since we did get another rejection, I did hop back into the position. Stop loss pretty much in the same place, and targets pretty much the same place as well, back at the low end of that wick. But as long as we stay below this structure here, because this is the lower high that gave us that drop, as long as we can respect that, I still remain bearish, and I have entered on that bearish candle close there, confirming that that level is back intact. If we were to close back above it, then yeah, I'll look to exit early again. Otherwise, I'm looking for price to roll over, at least back to the wick here. That's probably when I'll look to remove risk. But I'm looking at price kind of taking out this bullish structure and then giving us that big sell. The main confluence with EuroCHF and the higher time frames is that everything is still bearish in terms of market structure in the higher time frames, monthly chart, weekly chart, daily chart, all pointing to the downside. So if we can maintain that high, there's a good chance we will swing and head back to the lows. If we do have a bigger pullback, then I will look at the highs over here. There is still that possibility that EuroCHF wants to have a bigger pullback, form another major lower high there. So if we do go and break structure, I will look to change that bias in the short, immediate future, look for some longs back up again, then hopefully I can swing it back down to the lows at a later date. But for that to happen, we need to break through the high over here on the 4-hour chart, which so far is still intact there. So yeah, it's still short EuroCHF. We're going to see how this one plays out. I've been eyeing up a few CHF pairs to get involved. New Zealand CHF didn't quite set up for me. Aussie CHF didn't really break through the structure. No, I was in pound CHF. I did get taken out break even. I was in pound CHF. Back over here because we had a lovely fake out of the high. So I entered over there. Was in some healthy profit, but then price to come back to my area a couple times before selling off. So unfortunately, I was taken out of that trade for break even. But yeah, I was looking at pound CHF again as well, but I entered Euro CHF, and yeah, pound, of course, with the weakness, had a massive drop, which was difficult to foresee. How was I supposed to know that pound's going to be very weak in hindsight? Would be nice to take pound CHF over Euro CHF, but on average, Euro CHF, pound CHF pretty much do the exact same thing. So I wasn't going to trade both of them. Euro CHF set up a little bit better at the time. But yeah, pound, of course, in hindsight, had a lovely meltdown there, and it's still looking pretty bearish. But the idea of pound CHF again was just looking to call the tops here because I'm looking at a major lower high forming. In this regard, another one over there for possibly a big sell. If we do get that sell, then the next opportunity would be waiting for us to break below the consolidation and finding some opportunities underneath that. So keep an eye on that. But in the meantime, Euro CHF has my attention, so let's see what that one has in store. Looks like New Zealand CHF might have left without me as well. Let me go to FXCM. It looks like New Zealand CHF might have left without me as well. Actually, maybe not. It's pulling back a little bit. Maybe I do get the double top. New Zealand CHF, I'm looking for the short on this area. I mean, not anymore because I'm in euro. I don't want to overexpose myself to the CHF currency pairs, especially because the swap is a little bit dangerous on these guys if you're selling them, especially as a swing. But New Zealand CHF still looking at something like this for a sell back into the lows. Lovely area of confluence, price support, turn resistance coming to 0.5. And again, same thing with Euro CHF. Higher time frames are very bearish. Monthly, weekly, daily chart all pointing down and looking for another wick back into that low there. So yeah, very bearish on New Zealand CHF as well. Most CHF currency pairs I'm pretty bearish on, apart from dollar CHF, apart from CHF JPY, and maybe CAD CHF as well. The others I'm looking to short. What's up, Christopher? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Thank you. They are doing good. Thank you for asking. Hope everything is well with you and your family too, my man. Good to see you as well. If you guys are enjoying the stream, by the way, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel. It does really help out. If you're finding the content useful, informative, educational, entertaining, anything remotely positive, please be sure to drop a like. It does help out the stream, helps out the channel a lot. And of course, make sure you do subscribe whilst you're at it and hit the bell too, so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. Anyway, Tom, call pound at NZD, push 81 pips in my favor. Oh, yeah, that is unfortunate, my man. Yeah, pound weakness. Yeah, it was not a good time to be buying pound at all with that weakness. But you know, as technical traders, you got to focus on the chart. You know, you're not to know that weakness is going to come around. You know, only hindsight will tell you that. But at the end of the day, if you take a good trade, it fits your plan well, you can manage risk as well, then there's nothing wrong there in your part. Some trades are just going to push in your favor, and sometimes they'll just turn around. Unfortunately, sometimes pound just be very weak, like it was yesterday. First L to curtain raise the year. Yeah, it happens, my man. It happens. Yeah, I mean the thing with pound NZD, it's because I was looking at pound NZD as well. I mean, it didn't have that much of a tanking. I think because NZD has been a little bit weak as well. Because if you compare this to like pound USD or pound yen or even pound CAD, they've had some really big drops. But New Zealand has been a little bit weak as well, so it meant that we didn't see that much downside at all. Well, at least compared to those other pound pairs. Yeah, I think it was a nice position because I know you're looking for the continuation of this bullish leg here, for the continuation back to the highs. I think that's pretty much what you were looking for. It looks like either price is having a deeper retracement, or we're looking to go and break structure, which means we'll have like a daily or like a daily time frame pullback because we created new highs not long ago. You know, we did put in these major high lows back over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are we seeing a bigger pullback? Number 6, you know, before continuing, or are we going to break through daily structure as well? We'll find that out when it happens. But overall, I think the direction you're playing in makes a lot of sense. Still looking to follow momentum. Looks like a good trade. But, you know, you're not meant to win every trade, are you? Otherwise, trading will be a bit boring. You know, you need to have some few losers, keep you on your toes. But yeah, I would stay bullish for pound NZD until that low breaks. If that low does break there, then I wouldn't necessarily be bearish, but it just means we're going to have that bigger pullback because we could still turn around, you know, here necessarily and see a push up. But if we go and take out that low, then I'll be looking at more this area before the buy. And there might be some smaller counter trend sells in the meantime as well. Okay, that's good to hear, Chris. Good to hear, my man. Hope same for everyone else as well on the stream. But if we take a look at pound Aussie, his partner in crime, yeah, pretty much doing the exact same thing as well. In fact, I would just go through the crosses whilst I'm at it. But yeah, pound Aussie as well, taking out major highs here on the left, which of course, great sign in terms of the bullish price action, taking out major structural resistance. However, it looks like we're running out momentum. I still do expect more upside longer term. I'm looking for a push back into the high here at 2.04746. That is still the area I'm expecting pound Aussie to get to. However, in the same situation as pound NZD, we might be going through that bigger pullback first before continuing. If I drop to the daily chart, you can see these major swing lows, one over there, second, third, back to back there, fourth, fifth. We potentially could pull back into that area again and then continue, because it looks like that current bullish structure is not playing ball. In fact, have we broken through it already? We've worked through the low, but not necessarily had to close. But if we do see that happen on the next 4H candle, that could then mean we're going to probably experience a lot more downside. So yeah, for pound Aussie, it looks like the same situation as pound NZD as well. Bullish structure, yes. Market's been very consistent, higher low after higher low. But the fact is, we've taken out major highs. You can see what happened last time we did that. We had a major high here, drop, took out the high again, major high, drop, took out the high for the new major high. Might see a bit of a drop in relation to that before continuing. So that's looking like the more likely move for pound Aussie. Yeah. If I was to whip out the old fib, yeah, I'd probably say that 0.618 is looking interesting. I mean, between 0.5 and 0.618, that area for a higher low looks really interesting. So yeah, that's probably what I'll keep an eye out for, pound Aussie. Yeah, I would agree. I would definitely agree there. If it does break below that swing point, it is bearish. I still think the bigger move is to the upside. So even if you do break through this low, if we break through that low, 100%, I would agree, bearish. But I don't expect that to last for forever. Of course, it could do. We don't know these things. We can only speculate. But we do have these higher lows to contend with. I completely missed that one. There we go. We've got these high lows here to contend with, so I'd watch out for that. So even though we're bearish, as soon as we start coming into this kind of area, that's now a bullish area for me as well. Probably the 200 probably comes into that level there too. And then I'll start looking for signs of reversal to take it back up again, maybe back to the highs and further. If we were to go and break through this low here as well, then yeah, that probably insinuates a lot more downside longer term. But until we get something like that, still going to stay longer term bullish bias in pound NZD. Just look for more kind of intraday, intra-week shorts. If I go take a look at Euro Aussie, which of course is a similar pair to pound Aussie, but we just haven't seen that real reflection in terms of them being in sync, because of course pound weakness has just given pound Aussie such a big move, whereas Euro has been a little bit strong. Hence, we've had a bit of a move to the upside. But in the same kind of world, it looks to me that we've had a big impulse down. This looks to me to be the correction. So naturally, I'm expecting Euro Aussie to make a similar move to what pound Aussie just did yesterday, and what pound NZD did as well. So yeah, Euro Aussie, I'm pretty bearish on. I don't think it's a good setup. As I look at the higher time frames, the market looks incredibly flat. No real kind of trend with it, and just not a market which I'm looking to trade at the moment at all. We are kind of bouncing on daily support right now, so I suppose that's why we're taking our time at the moment. As you can see, prior resistance turned support. The market is struggling at that area in particular, but because of how corrective this is, I do expect us just to drop now. Lovely impulse, big correction, Probably going to see another push back down again there for Euro Aussie. In terms of Euro NZD, this one, same situation as well, maybe not as clear cut as Euro Aussie, but again, a strong move to the downside. This is your correctional phase. And again, looking for a high for continuation. But the one thing I do like about Euro NZD for the shorts is that where we are trading, major daily resistance here. Last time we're here, massive move to the downside. Then again over here with that big wick. And then again here, we tried to break through again, but failed. And a very strong close as well as the downside. So naturally, you're looking for sells anyway in this region, 1.841. And with that characteristic of how price is moving there, strong impulse to the downside on the 4-hour chart, followed by a lovely correction. It does look like price is getting ready to topple over. So pound NZD is looking pretty bearish. Euro NZD is looking pretty bearish. Pound Aussie is looking pretty bearish. Euro Aussie is looking pretty bearish. So those four kind of correlated markets look like they probably all could see more downside. I don't really have opportunities for them. The bias looks pretty clear, but I probably would suggest you're looking at maybe very intraday entries like 30-minute or 50-minute to trade them, because 4-hour chart, probably not going to get the best risk reward, especially with pound Aussie and pound NZD coming into these lows. Not the best time to be shorting. And yeah, with Euro Aussie coming back into that high, not the best time either. So not a big fan of those pairs, but they are looking pretty bearish to me. So I'm looking to sell New Zealand CAD. Yes, same here as well. I'm pretty bearish on New Zealand CAD. I'll go take a look at 0.808. I can't remember the price I'm looking to sell at. I mean, I remember where it is, but I can't remember exactly the price it is, but we'll go take a look. Lord dollar CAD, yes, we'll definitely take a look. Bullish bias, same here. Just waiting for pullback to 1.343495, then buy. Okay, we'll take a look at both of them. So yeah, with New Zealand CAD, definitely bearish bias as well. So the area I'm looking to sell from is 0.817. So I'm looking for a much bigger pullback before shorting. Tom, you are looking for a short around 0.808. So you're looking, okay, so you're looking for this bearish structure here. So you're looking at this swing here, I suppose. And 0.808 is back into your 50, back to retest that lovely little low there as well. So I suppose that's what you're looking for. If not, let me know. But yeah, I'm looking at a slightly deeper pullback. And the thing about pullbacks is you don't necessarily know where the pullback's going to happen, where it's going to pull back to before continuing. You potentially could see a really big pullback happen. You potentially could see a very shallow pullback happen and still see the same results. All I know is that for the time frame I'm trading on, which is the 4-hour, this is the healthy pullback area, which I'll look for where I know I can find an entry and hold on to with the confidence that I put my stop loss in a healthy place. Should price break through that, there's probably a good chance that price is going to turn around. And if it does play out, should be looking at pretty healthy risk reward as well. In this area, from a low time frame perspective, looks great. You can probably find a nice stop loss for as well and maximize your risk reward back into the swing low and potentially further as well. I do expect us to eventually come back to the daily low here at 0.796. So I'm pretty bearish there for New Zealand CAD. But yeah, as I said, just looking for a slightly bigger pullback than yourself. Price does go and break through the high here. Yes, technically it's a break of structure in the lower time frames, but this is the last major high which gave us this big low. So as long as we don't break through this high here, I would still stay bearish. And of course, there's my area of confluence, which lines up very well with 0.618. So yeah, I like it. From an intraday perspective, it looks good. If we do get a deeper pullback, I'll keep an eye on this area here. And that's my only area I'm looking at. But if it doesn't play out, you've got areas to look at as well. And as I said, if you keep up with that positive risk reward, even if you do lose the first attempt, you do succeed in the second attempt, or at least win the trade in the second attempt, then you can still make back that loss plus some as well. So the result of the two trades together is, of course, positive. But yeah, I like it there on New Zealand CAD. In terms of USD CAD as well, this one has been pretty bullish. Of course, USD has been very strong. This has been moving to the upside very well. I'm personally looking at a deeper pullback for dollar CAD into 1.415. That is the area which I'm looking to buy from. It's still pretty far away at the moment in time, so I'll probably say the likeliness of me getting that pullback to that area specifically is probably not incredibly high. But again, it's still the area which ticks my boxes and fits the plan well. So that's where I want to take my buys from. In terms of the area you're looking at, which is 1.43495. 1.43495, which is here. Okay, so you're looking at probably more intraday opportunity. 43495. Okay, so you're looking at this little low here. So that low, which gave us that move to the upside. Okay, I like it as well. Again, intraday, not necessarily something I'm looking to trade myself, but I like the technicals behind that. Of course, you're looking to try and catch the next higher low. And if we could pull back into that area, which is a pretty healthy place for a higher low to form, there's a good chance you could catch some buys there, ride it into that high, and hopefully take it back into the high there as well. So yeah, I like it as well. I think it's a nice intraday setup. I like it especially because it looks like prices kind of fake the low. Fake the low of this range because, of course, you got equal highs up here. You got equal lows down there. This is your fake out of the range. And now price is back inside the range. So you're kind of using that fake out to your advantage. Come back, retest the low again, and continue. So I like it. I think it looks good. It's coming back into a really big support level. Nice area of demand. Really strong push to the upside. Retesting that same area. So there's a lot of box being ticked here with this dollar CAD intraday setup. And the fact is, USD is still really, really strong as well. So in terms of correlation, you got a lot of boxes ticked. So as long as USD doesn't do anything crazy, which it could do tomorrow, should see a pretty smooth move to the upside. The only question is, will we retest that area before pushing up? Who knows? But if it does get there, you want to be ready and waiting to take your trade. So yeah, looking pretty good there, Lauder. I have to admit, looking good. And if we do miss that opportunity, if it does go and break the high, I think some pullbacks and retests look good after that as well. Okay, so we'll go through. Yeah, gold cannot be stopped. Tell me about it, Ben. Gold cannot be stopped. It looks like we're about to see price push through the high. I mean, I'm still looking to buy gold, but there's just no opportunity at the moment. I mean, I might consider the retest of the low there if things look good and if the risk reward adds up, because I'm only looking to take entries on the 4-hour chart. And if I do get breaking retest of that high, I probably won't see the risk reward I'm after, the stop loss size I'm looking for. But this area down here still looks relatively good if price was to get there, just not looking likely at the moment in time. But yeah, I'm still looking for a pushback to the high. Gold is trying to charge through that high there. The candle on the 4-hour time frame still does have 2.5 hours left before it does close. So I'm not going to read too much into it because we could easily form another wick there. But if it does persist, see some new highs, strong candle closures above that level, sure, we can be looking at some nice breaking retest back into the level of resistance up here at 27.18. So possibly we could be seeing something like that happen. Still not a big fan of gold. The price action isn't that great, especially compared to silver. I think silver looks a lot more tidy. I still don't really have a setup with silver, but at least with silver, I can kind of see what price is trying to do there. We have a really big move to the upside. This is your correction. Nice double bottom. If you can start forming some high lows like that, I'll be all over that. Excuse me. With gold, not really seeing that happening. Of course, it could happen. Maybe just a couple more weeks and gold's looking great, at least in my eyes. But to me, still not the biggest fan. Tom, your level's also good. If I get an L on my level, I'm going to attack you. Okay. In the low time frame of substructure breaks. Okay, so the RR will make up the L, targeting 0.7974. Okay, I get you. Yeah, I mean that's the beauty of trading. You don't know where price is going to turn from. It might turn from here, might turn from there, might turn not at all. And the beautiful thing about trading is that you're not here to be right every time, because if you are, you try and drive yourself crazy. You drive yourself up the wall. I've been there. Not a good place to be. What you want to be doing is looking to play an edge and looking to play that edge every single trade you take. And that gives you kind of that confidence, that kind of comfortability almost when you're trading, because if you're trying to be right with your trades, it's just such a tough, stressful place to be. But when you're actually trying to play an edge, for example, looking to play your short there, you've got an edge there, which is why you're trying to take the short. If it does fail, you take the L, you move into the next trade. The edge is not supposed to work every time, but over 50, 100, 200 trades, the edge will present itself, and that's where your focus is. So, yeah, if it does push a little bit higher, and I know you'll be looking for more refined entries than myself, I'll be looking on the 4-hour time frame, but I think you enter on the 15-minute chart, if I'm not mistaken. So if it does play out, you're probably looking at a much bigger risk reward than myself, and if that plays out, that will definitely make up the loss plus more. But yeah, I'm looking for a push to 0.79700, 600 back to that low. You're looking for a push back into 79700, pretty much the same place, really, which is at that daily level of support there on the left as well. So yeah, same targets, pretty much same idea. The market is taking out major structure to the left, which is what gives me the confidence with the sells, because if we were still respecting these lows, then yeah, we might still see a continuation to the upside. I haven't been very convinced because this bullish structure has been so corrective. So I've been looking for it to reverse for a while. And now that we've finally got the big breaker structure of that low and also taken out that low as the cherry on top, that does mean that New Zealand CAD's got a pretty good chance to keep falling and see a push back to these lows here. So now it's just about finding the pullback if it does happen, of course. Otherwise, we might just keep falling. In terms of Aussie CAD, which is a similar pair to New Zealand CAD, I think New Zealand CAD looks a lot better than New Zealand CAD looks a lot better than Aussie CAD, and I say that because this is our higher low here for Aussie CAD, and this low has just gone and broken through the high there and giving us a new high. So with that information, price could still respect structure, which is this wick low, and could still bounce and see a new push back to the high. I think that's still pretty unlikely. But I do think price is going to fall, especially if New Zealand CAD does fall as well. These pairs are very correlated. If New Zealand CAD sees a big move to the downside, there's a pretty good chance that Aussie CAD's going to make the same move, maybe a little bit slower, but it will make its move. So this is still in bullish territory technically. So that's why I'm not as convinced about the sells, or not as wanting to take the sells, because I know that we could still push up from a technical aspect. I'm still looking at a lower high in this area, which was actually not too far away from forming. We were looking pretty bullish at the start of the week. Had this push here, I was kind of actually hoping to get the short in at some point, but it didn't. It just fell over. It fell over. My English is playing up. It fell over, and same with New Zealand CAD as well. It was looking pretty bullish at the start of the week. Didn't quite get to the level, and it fell over as well. So I wonder if we can form some double bottoms here. Looks like New Zealand CAD is doing the same thing as well. Form some double bottoms. Hopefully respect that low and get that bigger pullback. But I expect the same situation to happen. Come back into the high, respect it, next lower high, big drop. And that is still the plan. And the good thing about Aussie CAD is that we've got a long way to go back to the next major low, which is 0.8597. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with Aussie CAD and the CAD pairs in general. Ben, first full trading week back, a lot of spikes of volatility, but difficult to get trades. No trades for me so far. Want to get a short goal, but it just kept marching higher. Yeah, first trading week was not bad. Took a loss on EuroCHF, not a full one because I didn't hit the stop loss, but I did take a loss there. Now I'm back in EuroCHF, so I've taken 2 trades, both in EuroCHF. But yeah, I mean, again, I don't try to focus my trading per week. I used to, but looking back, I try to focus more monthly basis in terms of actually monitoring my progress. But 2 trades is literally nothing compared to the grand scheme of things of the whole 2020-25. But in terms of the market price action, I think it's been pretty good. Quite a few unexpected moves, but there's always unexpected moves in the market. In terms of finding trades, EuroCHF did present itself. I did have silver at the start of the week. Actually, no, that was last week. Sorry. I did have silver at the start of last week, which I missed. New Zealand CHF's in a nice area. Hasn't really presented itself yet, but then it could still potentially do that as well. Pound CHF did present itself, but I chose Euro CHF instead. So I've had a lot of CHF positions. But of course, I'm not going to trade all of them. I'm just going to pick one. USD markets, haven't really got anything there. I was looking for a deeper pullback on those guys, but they still keep falling. USD strength is still king at the moment. So I haven't really got the pullbacks I've been wanting on USD. Yen, I've been looking for price to push a little bit higher before I get the big sell. Not too sure if that's going to play out at the moment. I still think the big sell is going to play out. But the areas in which I want to short from, probably we might not get there. So I'm going to have to rethink those things over the weekend. So yeah, if pound yen does go and break structure, which looks likely, probably looking at something like this next week rather than the sell I was looking at the high here, which was the original plan. So yeah, might have to keep an eye on that. Yeah, crosses, haven't really been looking at them too much for a while now. Haven't really set up well. But even then, they've been moving okay as well. But yeah, I have noticed there's been a lot more momentum at the moment. Markets are moving, and hopefully that continues. Of course, we still got Thursday and Friday left for some more, especially Friday as well, especially with NFP. Could definitely see a lot more movement then. So overall for me, just in the regular week in the markets, really another week to chalk off, tick off, and continue on to the next one. Nothing special really. But I do have a plan with the watch list and which pairs I'm looking at, where big moves can potentially come from based on where we're situated in higher time frames. There's quite a few of them, especially on the yen side of things. So that's kind of really my target for this kind of first quarter, if you like, of the year. Can I get some sell positions on the yen pairs? If I do, hopefully they can run. They have the potential to do so, especially like pound yen, especially like euro yen. These guys are trading at some really big levels where, the first maybe 2-3 months of the year might see a bit of a drop there. So as a swing trader, I want to make sure I'm all over that. Just have to be patient. And same thing with euro yen as well. And CAD yen too, for that matter. If euro yen goes and breaks structure, I'll continue, look for some lower highs, and hopefully a big short can form there. But yeah, at the end of the day, you've got to judge your trading progress in terms of your alignment with your trading plan. Trading days, trading weeks, trading months will come and go. Some will be great, some will be fantastic, some will be you wish you never traded that month or that week or that day. But again, that's the reality of trading. If you've tested your strategy, tested your numbers out, you can see how often you could lose, how often you can have losing streaks, how big of a losing streak as well. If you have a 50% win rate, you still could potentially have 15, 16, 17 losing trades in a row. for every 1,000 trades you take. Of course, that'll probably be your maximum losing streak, but you can still definitely experience that. So you have to put things in place to manage that if it does happen. But at the end of the day, you just got to be taking trades that fit your plan, follow your edge, and that's really what you have to judge yourself on. Tom, 2% profit cap. Yes, it does. Once you do get funded and you do get your third payout, you will have the opportunity to go to 90% profit split, plus the 2% daily profit cap will be removed as well. The main aspect of that profit cap is to avoid gamblers, because at the end of the day, anyone could take a trading challenge, and a lot of people do like to use them. But the main focus with ET is to focus on actual traders who want consistent progress, and as a result, with progress, you'll be rewarded. Profit cap removed, 90% profit split. The other things we have in place as well, which haven't been finalized yet, to reward the trader, but more things will come as well. But yes, the profit cap does remove, and other things as well. The floating the floating loss rule as well does get removed too. So yeah, that's kind of really where I'm at in terms of what I'm looking at. In terms of my watch list, it hasn't really changed for a couple of weeks now. Still looking at dollar yen longs from this area. Hopefully you can see that soon. I'm still very, very far away, so that might take some time. Dollar CAD, I still like the longs. Still looking to take buying opportunities from 1.418. So that's really where my main focus is. Will we get there? I have no idea, but if we do get there, I'm looking to take my longs and possibly might look for the breaking test of the high, but I think the risk reward might not be great there, so I probably won't get that trade, but something like this, I'm all over. Euro USD, still looking at a bigger pullback for that one should it happen. I'm not writing it off because NFP could be very weak for USD for whatever reason, and we might see a big push to the upside. And if you do come back to this region here, got some healthy confidence with the 200, with the fib, with the area of supply of that consolidation. So I'll be more than happy to take some sales from that region. Pound USD, I do like as well, except I need to see a bit of a pullback for that one because we've just taken out some major wick lows, which is the low over here. So if we can come back, retest some support here, I'll be more than happy to look for some entries there, and hopefully we can use that as resistance. Went back too many times there. There we go. Hopefully we can use that as resistance, find some shorts, and take that back to the low there as well. And hopefully we can push back to this level here too, which will be the next target, 1.21. So Euro USD shorts, dollar CAD longs, pound USD shorts, dollar yen longs. You can see the main theme there is USD strength. Silver longs, still very much in the pipeline. Nothing quite cemented there yet. Any price to kind of really persist with the higher highs and higher lows. And then, yeah, we can look for some longs there. What else? Crosses, not really interested in at the moment in time. Yep, New Zealand CAD. I'm liking this guy. Hopefully you can find some shorts. Probably not this week because I'm looking for a pretty big pullback. That might take a whole week in itself to get there, but I've got the time, so I'll wait for it. Aussie CAD, I'll keep an eye on it. To be honest, I wouldn't mind shorting just because I'm very, very confident with the New Zealand CAD shorts. So if Aussie CAD does set itself up for some shorts and maybe New Zealand CAD doesn't quite get to my zone, I will take a stab at the Aussie CAD shorts as long as it fits my criteria, of course, knowing that if NZD CAD does sell off, which looks pretty likely, there's a good chance Aussie CAD is going to follow suit behind that as well. So I'm going to keep an eye on Aussie CAD too. In terms of the CHF pairs, of course, like I said, I'm currently short Euro CHF, so managing that trade as it comes. Looking for some shorts back down to the lows. We'll see how that goes. I've got my stop loss above the region. I will look to close early if we do break the level again. But the main thing I'm looking at is price respecting this wick up here, this lower high. If we break through that, I don't want to be in the trade anymore. At that point, we're probably going to have a bigger push to the upside. If we can stay below that area, then yeah, I do think we can have a really big sell-off, because overall, trend is still very bearish. Good chance if the trend continues, we'll back at this low. And then, yeah, there's a few other CHF pairs I'm looking at, but I can't look to get involved until I can remove risk on Euro CHF. So New Zealand CHF, I like the shorts here as well. If we come back, double test that level, double top that level, I'll be liking the shorts. But if I've still got risk on Euro CHF, I'm gonna have to give that one a miss. But it is definitely a pair that I've been looking quite a lot at. And I mean, well, pound CHF with the big drop we had yesterday. Now I'm going to kind of wait to see if we can get a breakout of the range, but still a while away from that. Then Aussie CHF as well. This one looked good last week for them shorts, but we broke back above this support level. So I need us to get back below that before I do start considering to short again. If we can break below, fantastic. Then I'll look for some lower highs and hopefully a swing back to the wick low. And we've got the all-time low just to our left here as well. So 2 birds, 1 stone, take them both out. But yeah, that's really where my focus lies. Yes, of course, that's the plan, Tom. We're in got multiple phases for ET. Still in phase 1 right now. But we've got a lot more stuff coming pretty soon, so keep a lookout for that. Sinolo. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. Yes, I actually haven't gone through the indices yet. Actually, that is a good shout. I will go through. I'll go through the indices. Okay, so I haven't actually been keeping up to date with them. I haven't started trading US30 yet. I'm going to trade that. Start adding it to the watch list soon. NAS 100. Okay, still pretty flat. Didn't really do too much yesterday, did we? So yeah, the FOMC announcement yesterday, or meeting, didn't really cause too much movement in the market. A bit of fluctuation. But yeah, sometimes those events can be pretty dead. All right, take care, Tom. Have a good one, man. We'll catch you tomorrow, hopefully. So yeah, with NAS still looking for a bit more downside and possibly another bounce. To me, the market is still very bullish. We're still seeing higher highs and higher lows. If I expand to the daily time frame, you can still see the market's being pretty consistent with these higher lows. You got one over there, second, third, fourth, and we're looking at that fifth. We've got a long-term trend line keeping us afloat. As long as we can stay above this area, that does keep me very bullish with NAS, and I'll look for a push back to the high there at 22K. These are our major higher lows. So there is that world where we could have a deeper pullback and then still push on. But at the moment in time, this level still looks to be intact. We've had some really healthy rejections prior to this, over here, over here. So I would suggest if you get there again, looking for some more buys, the only advice I would suggest is be careful with these lower highs. As you can see, the market's forming these lower highs. Didn't quite test it there, but we did come in again, test it there, push down. There is a good possibility we could repeat this pattern, another push back into the high, and again, potentially sell off as well. So maybe the bigger move might be to the downside. Maybe NAS is getting ready for a bigger pullback. Maybe the indices are getting ready for a big pullback in general. But this is still a great place for a buy if you're looking to swing NAS. So yeah, keep an eye on 2,800. You can be a bit more specific around this level here for the buy. Got some nice trend line confidence there as well. Lines up well with the higher time frame trend. But I would watch out for 21,500 because it could send us back down. So that could be a nice target to have, or partial target at least, up to you, of course. But that is kind of where my focus would be. US30, last time I looked, was still very much in a range. And that is still very much true. With US30, I'm actually leaning towards more the sell side of things. So we did break structure over here. This was a very important swing low. As you can see, you've got the swing high up there. Market did have a lovely bullish swing, but since then we've actually gone and taken out structure. So if US30 is going to push to the upside, I need to see a confident break to the upside. Um, if we are going to come back to the highs here, I need to see a confident break to the upside. Then I can start talking about some pullbacks, higher lows, and higher highs, and of course, we swing it back to the highs. So potentially something like that could come around. But at the moment in time, since we did get the break of structure and we did it with a lot of momentum as well, it wasn't a slight break. Price really forcefully dropped. I do think we can see more downside. But again, if I'm going to look to sell US 30 as well, I need to see signs of continuation. So it's all great having that drop there, breaking structure. But if we're just going to consolidate, there's not much I can do with that. But if we show more continuation, another drop to the downside, it doesn't have to be as big as that. But let's see more continuation. It'd be nice if you can break through some more lows as well. And then, yeah, that leaves behind the great place for a short, retesting some structure. And we're going to see the next lower low, next lower high after that as well. So US 30 shorts could look good, but need to continue. Need a sign of continuation, which will be a breakout of that consolidation. Yeah, possibly markets might be flat into NFP. They've done a lot of movement this week, so I think they're due a little bit of a rest anyway. They've earned it. It's only if NFP comes with a bang. If NFP is just sluggish, then no one likes to see that. And with S&P, same kind of thing as well, but I still think the buys look good down at this low. If we were to break through, then that's when I'll start saying shorts look good. But as you can see, price still respecting areas of supply here pretty well. So I'll watch out for these areas. If we're to push back down, same as NAS, push back up again, this will become a great target to have, at least to book some partials, because we are being pretty consistent with these lower highs. And it might be the start of a potential sell-off as well. So we have to be aware of that. And if we do have that sell-off, then shorts underneath look really good as well. So I would keep an eye on that as well. But yeah, with indices, I would still be bullish because overall the market structure is still up. But with S&P and NAS, we need to bounce on those areas. And with US 30, we need to break to the upside. If we break to the downside, then I'm looking at continuation and more shorts. Take a look at the DAX really quick. Oh, look at that. DAX had a great time yesterday. Big push to the upside. Maybe a bit of a reaction there as well, but it's tested the highs again. I mean, I still think we can probably put some new highs in. But yeah, overall, the DAX is looking very, very bullish there. UK 100, what are you saying? Looking bullish as well. Okay. Not bad, not bad. Again, still looking for the push back to the high here, but we're about to approach resistance now. So now's definitely not the time to buy. If we're to sell off again, yes, but not now. If anything, might be some short-term sales to look at. But again, longer term, looking at the bigger picture, we still very much have a trend. That's how UK 100 moves. Consolidates, push, consolidates, push, consolidates, probably push again. So longer term, expecting more upside as you normally would. It's just about when that breakout will occur. I thought the breakout was going to occur after this move here, but we consolidated another 4 or 5 months. So who knows? Maybe you can consolidate another 4 or 5 months as well before the breakout happens. You don't know. Actually, let me measure these prior consolidations. From that high to when we broke the high, 428 days. Wow. For this one, I'll measure from the high over here to the break, 329. What about this one? So far, it's 240. So maybe another 100 days, and then we maybe get the breakout. But yeah, that's the reality of UK 100. It does like its consolidation, but it will give some nice breakouts as well. But yeah, looking pretty bullish there. So yeah, my main focus will just be on Euro Swiss. Just managing that position. I don't really have another trade which I'm looking to take at this moment in time. Like I said, I've got a few pairs on the watch list, of course, but they're not really in my areas. Pound USD looks really good as well. nowhere near the breaking retest there. Dollar CAD looks great, nowhere near the breaking retest. Dollar yen looks great, nowhere near the breaking retest. New Zealand CAD looks good, nowhere near the breaking retest. Well, it's not really a breaking retest, but retest the high there as well. So there is no kind of pair to take right now. I mean, New Zealand CHF is not far away, but like I said, it's another CHF pair, so I'm not going to look to try and get into that just yet. But hopefully things can speed up with NFP on Friday, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, currently just in Euro CHF at the moment. But guys, we have approached the end of the stream. I do appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in, chatting with myself, dropping a like on the stream. If you haven't done so, please go and do that. It does really help out. Subscribe to the channel, of course, and make sure you do hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. I will be live again later today with Trader Nick on his channel. I think roughly around 2:45 UK time. So if you're free, pop in, say hi. We'll go through the markets there as well. And any new updates, I'll let you guys know there too. But if you don't have the time to catch that stream, I will be live again tomorrow as always. Big day tomorrow. So make sure you pop in and come chat with us. But guys, really appreciate you tuning in. If you haven't done already, check out the Elevating Traders Discord channel. Completely free to join. Link to that in the description below and also at the top of the chat. You can find updates there regarding Elevating Traders, chat with other traders, join the community, including myself. So if you're interested, make sure you go check it out. But guys, really appreciate you tuning in. Have a great Thursday, and I'll catch you all later.